Hello, this is Jordan, and this video is being recorded on Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And in today's video, I'm going to present my current outlook for silver in 2022. And I say current because the outlook is subject to change. Now, first things first, let's look at an analog chart. And I did a similar video in September, and I noted that the huge move that we had in 2020, that silver was going to need to rest for a while. And it looked like you could see the current market is in black. And, until the last couple months, it looked like silver could be in a bullish consolidation. It's trailed off too much. And when I look at the monthly and quarterly charts, it's clear that it's not in a bullish consolidation. So on those long-term charts, it looks worse. But, we can see two of those four historical moves did not move a whole lot until later in the move. But they were trending slowly but steadily higher. So it is possible that silver can continue to correct and consolidate. Now, this chart is much more important, and this is a weekly line chart. And the moving average that's equivalent to the 80-month moving average. That blue line you see, and you see the blue arrows, which also note important support resistance points from the moving average. And we can see that moving average is, I'll round it up 2 cents, but it's at $18.40, or $18.38 to be precise. So from looking at silver's historical price action and looking at that moving average, we can see that the moving average has been pretty important. And so it would not be a surprise to see that moving average provide support. Now, I've talked about 1870 as an important level, and that's because it's the 62% retracement of the rebound in 2020, the entire move. So that's significant. And also, you can see the thicker blue line at 1870. You can see how important of a level that was dating back to 2008. I mean, from the last 13 years or so. So 1870 is a very strong target. There's a confluence of things pointing to that. Silver closed yesterday at 22.53. So it's possible that if we see more weakness, ahead of the Fed tapering and hiking rates, the first line of support for silver, it's basically 20 flat. We're a little bit above 20. You can see that's an important level. And by the way, that level is the 62% retracement from the bottom in 1992 up to the peak in 2011. So that's another important level. But the 1870 level, there's much stronger support there. So I see that as a potential bottom target in the first half of the year, assuming that precious metals will trend lower ahead of the Fed hiking rates. And so here we can talk about the Fed hiking rates and why it's a bullish catalyst for silver. I've done a lot of work on it being a bullish catalyst for gold, but it's even better for silver. I mean, if we look at the last four periods when the Fed started hiking rates, silver averages a rebound of 44%. That's from the low, the low around the rate hike to the high when it rallies. And, three of those four rebounds, silver hit a pretty significant high. I mean, with respect to at least the last couple of years. When you have 4.5-year high, 2004, it got pretty close to a 16-year high. That's why I put a T for tide, basically. And then 2015, 2016, it made a 2-year high. And so if we're looking at silver, where the resistance is, There's quite a bit of resistance at 25. So if silver comes down to 1870, if that's the low as the Fed executes that rate hike, the targets that we're looking at, I mean, 25 stiff resistance, that's a good target. But for silver to get to a 2-year high, it would have to, I think, basically go up to 28 or get pretty close to that area. And it's the same thing with gold. When we look at this math for gold, it kind of, depending on where gold bottoms, it can project to $1,950, $2,000, or a little bit above it. And so it's going to depend on what happens after the first rate hike. I mean, I've talked about it in, I think I don't know if the interview's been posted yet, but a lot of economists, from all stripes, they're talking about economic growth really slowing down in the second half of next year. Some see more growth coming in 2023, but as far as 2022, the market and these economists, they seem to think, that's when the economy could really slow. Like it could potentially slow and get close to zero growth. And so if that happens, maybe the Fed does one hike and then they have to hold off from hiking for a while. And then, that would be bullish for precious metals. And at the same time, if the slowdown is severe enough where Congress, they want to take more action or give people more money or, whatever, they want to do that before the November election. I mean, that's a possibility. So there's all these scenarios. I mean, we can't predict how things are playing out, but basically the bullish catalyst is there for silver. And what happens after that? If you get a dramatic enough of a slowdown and then you get some Fed, fiscal type of action, that could be enough to extend this rate hike rally, where the Fed's not hike, they rest, they don't hike after the first or second hike. They pause for a while. We see some fiscal stimulus coming. I mean, if that happens, then you would definitely see gold, gold and silver probably rally back to the highs, which is not that, that percentage of a rally. It's not that out of step with what the historical data is showing. So sorry to babble on, but that's basically my base case, what I'm looking for as we go into the year. Silver weakness ahead of the rate hike. 1870 is really strong support. And then post rate hike, by the end of the year, my guess would be, it could rally up to around the 25 resistance. So that's what I'm looking for. We'll see what happens. I'll do another one of these videos on silver 2 or 3 months from now. We'll see if my view is the same. But it's been rough for silver. I think it'll continue to be rough, at least in the first quarter of the year. But it's setting up for a rally, a sustained rebound after the Fed executes that first rate hike. And before I forget, go to the Daily Gold, follow all my content there, and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. Thank you, and I look forward to doing another video update for you guys in the days and weeks ahead.